What if the way you think could completely reshape your life? Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once said, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." This powerful truth lies at the heart of today's video. We're going to explore 11 things you should quietly remove from your life. Habits, behaviors, and mindsets that silently rob you of peace and potential. According to the Stoic philosophers, true transformation begins within. And once you master your inner world, you gain the power to influence the outer one. But this video isn't just for passive watching. It's an invitation, a chance for you to reflect deeply on yourself. We encourage you to leave a comment, share your perspective, and engage with each point we discuss. Because in the end, this won't just be another video. It might be the beginning of a real lasting change. Let's get started. 1. Explaining yourself to those who hurt you. Have you ever been betrayed by someone you once held close? It hurts deeply, and worse, you might feel like you owe them an explanation, some closure, or even a justification for why you walked away. But here's the truth. You owe them nothing. You don't need a dramatic confrontation or a long speech. The wisest move? Leave quietly. Protect your energy. You're not seeking revenge. You're reclaiming your peace. And when they come back asking for help, a calm, firm no is more than enough. You're not obligated to help someone who broke your trust. Choosing silence and distance isn't weakness. It's wisdom. Let time do the talking. Let their actions speak for themselves. Remember, you don't have to keep people in your life who don't respect you. Respect must be earned, not assumed. Walking away from toxicity isn't cruelty, it's courage. It means you're choosing growth, clarity, and mental well-being over unnecessary drama. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." So don't stoop to their level, rise above. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, calm, confident, and steady. 2. Unnecessary goals. Life constantly demands choices. We chase many goals believing they define who we are. But sometimes those very goals become burdens instead of blessings. The Stoic truth is this: if a goal no longer aligns with your authentic self, it's okay to let it go. There is strength in knowing when to change direction, but do it quietly. Not every decision needs to be announced or explained. You don't need to post it online or seek approval. Let your actions speak. Adjust silently, move deliberately, and always stay grounded in your core values. In a world where everyone feels the urge to share everything, silence is power. Make changes strategically and without noise. That's how you protect your path and walk it with integrity. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Let this remind you, don't spend your time chasing goals that no longer serve you. Time is your most precious asset. Use it wisely. 3. Oversharing the end of a relationship. When a relationship ends, whether it's a friendship or a romance, it's easy to feel tempted to vent, to tell others what happened. But here's the better path. Protect the privacy you once shared. Talking excessively about the breakup or conflict won't help you heal. It only adds complexity. It turns pain into gossip. And in the end, it often leads to more hurt. Instead, turn inward. Reflect in silence. Process your emotions privately. Healing doesn't require an audience. If you feel the urge to share or seek sympathy, ask yourself, is there a deeper wound that hasn't healed yet? The solution rarely lies in public validation, but rather in inner dialogue. When you end a relationship with discretion and dignity, You protect your mental well-being. And that quiet strength, that's one of the clearest signs of emotional maturity. Knowing when to stay silent and how to protect your inner peace is a key part of your healing journey. This principle is just as important when you face your emotions in public, especially when they're about to get out of control. 4. Raising your voice in front of others. Picture this. You're in a tense meeting. The air feels thick, your palms are sweaty, and your heart is racing with anger. It's as if a fire is burning in your chest, and every cell in your body is screaming for you to let it all out. Loud, raw, and unfiltered. Who hasn't been there? But pause for a moment and ask yourself, what would happen if, instead of raising your voice, you lowered it? What if you chose calm over rage, steadiness over explosive emotion? Speaking softly in the middle of chaos isn't weakness. It's a sign of inner strength. It means you're truly in control of your inner world. Think back to a time when you saw someone lose their temper in public. How did it make you feel? Uncomfortable? Disappointed, maybe? Now imagine the opposite. A person who remained composed in the storm, their voice like a cool stream flowing through the noise. Isn't that the kind of person we all aspire to be? This isn't just a social strategy. It's inner work. It's how you transform anger into intentional action, how you convert frustration into focus. Think of it like emotional alchemy, turning inner chaos into power, like turning base metal into gold. Instead of letting emotions steer the ship, you become the experienced captain navigating through the storm. Heraclitus once said, "To be even-minded is the greatest virtue." Simple, yet profound. In our most fragile moments, our calm is our most powerful weapon. The ability to remain centered when the world around us shakes, that's real strength. So next time your emotions swell and voices around you rise, remember this. You don't need a shout to be heard. A whisper, when it comes from true inner power, can echo louder than any scream. 5. Spreading negative opinions about others. Now let's shift to a behavior that seems harmless on the surface, but is more damaging than we often realize. Gossip. Think back to the last time you heard someone talking behind someone else's back. A coworker, a friend, maybe even a stranger. Didn't it make you wonder, what do they say about me when I'm not around? That's the silent poison of gossip. It doesn't just harm the person being talked about, it also stains the speaker. Spreading negativity may give you a fleeting sense of relief. Maybe you're angry, hurt, or just want to vent. But once those words are out, they cling to you like shadows, quietly shaping how others see you, even if you're not aware of it. This doesn't mean you have to pretend to like everyone. Of course not. You don't have to be close to everyone, but you do have to be respectful, because behind every face is a story. Every person you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Now imagine this. You're dealing with someone who annoys you. Maybe they're rude. Maybe they act out of insecurity. It's easy to judge. But the wiser and harder choice is empathy. To pause and try to understand instead of jumping to conclusions. You don't need to agree with someone to treat them with dignity. And when you do, something powerful happens. You build trust. You build character. You become the kind of person others feel safe around because they know you don't tear people down behind their backs. This practice isn't just about keeping the peace. It's about living with integrity. It's about being the same person in private as you are in public. It's about making space in your heart for the complexity of human emotion. Because all of us are beautifully messy, contradictory beings. So the next time you feel tempted to say something negative about someone, pause. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling? Is it anger, jealousy, hurt? Then instead of turning outward, turn inward. Channel that emotion into a desire to understand, not to judge. When you do that, you not only avoid unnecessary conflict, you become a person who brings peace wherever you go. Someone who earns respect not because you never feel negative emotions, but because you know how to handle them with strength and emotional intelligence. If you've made it this far, I invite you to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Have you ever had a moment where choosing restraint changed everything? Your insight might be the guiding light for someone else trying to gain control over themselves. Picking up from the previous part, where we learn to stay calm and avoid judgment, now it's time to look inward, to confront the subtle daily distractions, comparison, overstimulation, and the need for validation that quietly disturb our inner peace. 6. Constantly comparing yourself to others. Comparing yourself to others is like running on a treadmill with no stop button. You keep going, tired, drained, but you're not getting anywhere. And the worst part, it steals your joy bit by bit. Think about it. Every time you glance sideways, measuring someone else's milestones against your own, you're not just diminishing your confidence. You're losing sight of the beauty in your own unique journey. This habit, the obsession with keeping up, often leaves us feeling left behind, stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and dissatisfaction. But what if you flip the script? What if, instead of demanding that you match someone else, you started appreciating your quirks, your stumbles, and even your small wins? Life isn't some perfectly scripted show where everyone plays the same part. It's messy, surprising, and full of contrast. Your story, with all its highs and lows, victories and setbacks, is a testament to your resilience and individuality. So lean into it. Feel every emotion fully, from frustration to triumph. When you embrace your own path, you don't just move forward, you rewrite the rules of the game on your own terms. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, control your perceptions, direct your actions properly, and willingly accept what lies beyond your control. This quote is a powerful reminder. Focus on your road, not the ones others are on. 7. Mindless use of social media. Imagine your life as a unique story, rich with experience, growth, and personal meaning. Now compare that to social media, a massive digital archive filled with everyone else's highlight reels. That contrast can quickly lead to unfair comparisons and a creeping sense of inadequacy in your own life. That's why it's so important to approach social media intentionally. Use it with purpose to find inspiration, connect with others, or learn something new. But then step back into your reality. Try setting specific times for social media, like during your morning coffee or after work. Don't let it seep into every spare moment of your day. Before each scroll, pause and ask, is this helping me or just distracting me? That awareness will help you tell the difference between meaningful engagement and mindless swiping. And if you start to notice your mood dropping, your self-esteem shrinking because of what you see online, hit pause. Take a break. Use that time to do something tangible and fulfilling. Something that reminds you of the value in your life, not someone else's projection of theirs. Small changes like this can create precious space where you reconnect with your own journey instead of being lost in someone else's. 8. The pursuit of external validation. Now let's explore a subtle yet powerful concept: freeing yourself from the need for external approval. Imagine yourself standing on a stage, a spotlight shining directly on you, and a crowd of faces below, each one ready to judge your every word, action, and expression. It feels suffocating, doesn't it? And it's certainly not sustainable. Now picture yourself stepping down from that stage. You walk into a peaceful space where only one voice matters: your own. This is the liberating shift that happens when you begin to live guided by your inner voice, instead of being pulled in every direction by others' opinions. Living for others' approval is like wearing clothes that don't fit. You may do it to please others, but it never feels truly comfortable. Think back to the moments when you felt genuinely happy. Weren't they the times you were true to your own values, beliefs, and desires? Not because of applause or praise, but because it aligned with who you really are. To bring this mindset into daily life, start with self-reflection. Before making a decision, ask yourself, am I doing this for me or to impress someone else? Listen to your intuition, identify your real needs, and learn to trust your own choices. Celebrate your achievements, no matter how small. Learn from your mistakes. Appreciate your good qualities. At the same time, nurture relationships that respect your authentic self, not the version others expect you to be. When you let go of the weight of needing validation, you open the door to a more authentic way of living, a life where being yourself is more than enough. Continuing from freeing ourselves from external validation, we now turn to another subtle barrier that quietly holds back our growth: perfectionism. And from here, we enter the final three lessons, ones that lead us toward a life of truth, depth, and freedom. 9. Perfectionism. On the path of self-improvement, there's a trap that often gets mistaken for motivation: perfectionism. It may appear to be about high standards and excellence, but in truth, it's a source of stress, insecurity, and constant exhaustion. Perfectionism sets standards so high they're nearly impossible to reach. It makes you afraid to make mistakes. Worse still, it creates a constant sense that you're never good enough. But here's the truth: real growth begins the moment you embrace your imperfections. Life, like art, becomes richer and more meaningful when we allow space for imperfection, when we accept the messy, unfinished lines as part of the beauty. To move beyond perfectionism, start by accepting your limitations. Understand that every mistake is a necessary part of learning. Don't aim to be perfect. Aim to be excellent, which means doing your best while recognizing that growth is always ongoing. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. Learn to celebrate the effort, not just the result. And most importantly, redefine success, not as a flawless outcome, but as the journey of learning, trying, and evolving. Letting go of perfectionism opens up a much wider world, one where mistakes are not burdens, but opportunities. A world where you can be fully yourself without pressure or pretense. And in that space, you'll find a deeper peace than perfection could ever offer. 10. Unrealistic expectations. On life's journey, we often set sail with grand expectations, chasing shining dreams and lofty ideals. But over time, those sails can become too big, unmanageable, pulling us into turbulent waters filled with disappointment and confusion. Like sailors enchanted by the mythical songs of sirens, we chase perfection in ourselves, in others, and in life itself. A pursuit as hopeless as trying to catch the horizon, it always moves farther as we get closer. These towering expectations, often fueled by society's whispers and the media's constant noise, make us forget the raw, authentic beauty of who we really are. We become blind to the simple, precious reality that life offers us each day. To break free from this illusion, we must begin with courageous honesty. Peel back each layer of should have and what if until you reach the core of what you truly desire. Ask yourself, are these expectations lifting me up or crushing my spirit? This is not some fairy tale transformation. It's a rough, sometimes painful process, one that demands acceptance of life's imperfections and your own. But it's through this acceptance that you can finally set goals that reflect who you truly are, not the version of you the world expects. Every small step forward, every quiet victory along the way is proof of your resilience. And eventually you'll realize beauty doesn't lie in the destination. It lies in the map you've drawn with your own hands, etched by real experiences. Letting go of unrealistic expectations doesn't just lighten your load. It opens your eyes to the unexpected wonders life still holds. Every joy, every sorrow, they're all meaningful pieces of the human experience. 11th, gossiping behind others' backs. At times, indulging in a bit of negative gossip can seem harmless. It feels like an easy shortcut to connection. But in truth, it's a path that leads us astray. Think back to the last time you were part of such a conversation. Did it truly make you feel better? Or did it leave you with a faint sense of guilt, a quiet loss of integrity? Words like seeds can either grow gardens of trust or sprout weeds of doubt and division. When you choose to nurture your conversations with kindness and understanding, you're planting the seeds for an environment where respect and trust can thrive. Of course, it's not always easy. There are moments when gossip feels justified, almost natural. But next time, pause before you speak or listen to something unkind. Imagine the person being talked about as someone with their own hidden battles, joys, and pain, just like you. Would you want the worst moment of your life to become someone else's casual topic of conversation? Probably not. Avoiding gossip not only creates a more positive atmosphere, it also honors our shared humanity. When you live this way, you don't just distance yourself from negativity. You become an example for others to follow. A person who connects through sincerity, not whispers behind closed doors. By practicing these principles, you begin to build a mindset that is strong, kind, and positive. It's not just personal growth. It's a deep transformation in how you relate to the world around you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss future insights. And please leave a comment to share your thoughts. Your words might just inspire someone who needs it most.